So you know you want to get fit, but you're not sure what you should actually focus on. Where should you put your time and energy so that you're actually going to get results and not just be wasting your time? Well, don't worry, girl, because that is exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video. What's going on, Fit Fam? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new here. If you want to learn more about how to eat way more food and work out smarter instead of harder to get lean and fit for life, then make sure to subscribe to my channel because that is what I am all about. And if you are coming back, thank you so much for tuning in for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 steps to take in order to get lean and fit for life and how to do it the fun, easy, realistic, sustainable way that doesn't require any restrictions, any crazy diets, or any crazy cardio. Okay, so the first thing you need to focus on in order to get fit for life is eating a lot, and I mean a lot of protein. Why is protein so important? Because it is the building block of muscle. Remember, when you say you want to get toned, you want to get that sexy hourglass body, that comes from putting muscle on your body in addition to having a relatively low body fat percentage. So generally speaking, you need to eat around 1 gram per pound of body weight in order to really put on sufficient muscle. However, if you are somebody who has a decent amount of excess body fat, I would say that rule doesn't really apply because you actually only need protein for your lean body mass, meaning the amount on you that is muscle and not fat. So instead, the way you can think of it is aim for around 130 up to as much as 150 grams of protein per day. That is going to be more than enough for pretty much any woman to see really amazing changes in your body fast. And remember, the more muscle you put on your body, the faster your metabolism becomes. Your metabolism is what is responsible for the vast majority of the calories you burn every single day. So this means the faster your metabolism is, the more of a 24/7 calorie burning machine you become. So here are some foods I recommend to start incorporating on a day-to-day basis to get more protein in. First of all, I definitely recommend getting a high quality organic protein powder like a grass-fed whey or a vegan protein powder if you can't do dairy. Now you can throw this into a smoothie, or you can throw it into your oatmeal the way that I always do, or you can make yummy recipes like pancakes and French toast, something that I eat a lot of. Then I also eat a lot of eggs and yogurt. So non-fat Greek yogurt is a very easy way to get a lot of protein in one sitting and not have to prepare anything. And then you throw a little chocolate protein powder in there. It's a super high protein snack and it literally tastes like chocolate pudding. So like I said, I also do a lot of eggs, and an easy hack to get your protein up without getting your fat up is to add some egg whites to your eggs. So I wouldn't recommend only eating egg whites because then you're not going to be getting the essential nutrients that you get from the yolk, but the yolk is obviously where the fat comes from. So in order to not go way high in fat, you can always do maybe 2 or 3 regular eggs and then add in like a quarter cup, half a cup of egg whites to get the protein up. Now I also do a decent bit of cheese in my food, usually feta or goat cheese to give it flavor. And obviously cheese is mainly a fat, but it does pack a good bit of protein. Same thing with milk. You can do cow's milk or you can do a plant-based milk, especially soy has the highest protein. Then you have carbs that are going to help you get more protein, like good old bread. Yes, bread actually does have a good bit of protein in it. Usually 2 slices of a whole wheat bread is going to give you about 10 grams of protein and obviously really yummy fun carbs. And then pasta, especially a high protein pasta like red lentil or chickpea, is going to also help get those numbers up. And then there are the really obvious sources of protein which you should definitely be eating every day, which is an actual meat. So chicken breast, chicken thighs, fish, shrimp, lean turkey, lean red beef, whatever you want. Definitely having at least 1 source a day, if not 2. Sometimes you might have to have it for lunch and dinner to be getting enough protein in your diet. And of course, if you want to do this from a plant-based perspective, then you could focus on seitan, tempeh, and tofu. And another little hack I started doing recently to help get my protein up is actually having bone broth, which is also really good for collagen, for the skin. That's kind of the main reason I took it. But I was pleasantly surprised that 2 tablespoons of a bone broth is going to be 15 grams of protein. So that is a really easy way to help get your numbers up, as well as do some skincare. All right, the second step to getting fit for life is eating enough overall food. So definitely getting enough protein is absolutely crucial, but you also need to make sure your total calories is adequate. Because remember, muscle can't come from nothing. It needs fuel to be created. So this is where carbs and fats are also going to play a very important role. So in order to know how much you should be eating, you have to understand how much are you consistently eating right now. And I went in depth about exactly how to figure out this amount want and how to adjust it based on your goals in one of the most recent videos I made here, which you can check out. But essentially what you're gonna do is track your food in an app like MyFitnessPal, make sure you log absolutely everything that you eat, and see what your average is at the end of 7 days. Let's say your average was 1,600 calories, then what you would wanna do is definitely make sure around 130 grams of those calories is going to go to protein. So the way you would figure this out is 1 gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories. So what you're gonna do is take 130 grams of protein, multiply that by 4 because 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, and that's gonna give you 520 calories from protein. So we know that your daily total right now is 1,600 calories, so we're gonna take 1,600 and subtract 520, and then that leaves us with 1,080 calories to come from carbs and fats. So it doesn't really matter exactly how much is carbs or fats. You can play around with it and see what you prefer in terms of taste and what feels best for your body and energy. But so long as your calories are where they should be and your protein especially is where it should be, it's not gonna make a huge difference. So I definitely think that pretty much all women, especially who are lifting weights consistently, should really not be eating any less than 2,000 calories a day. But the problem is if you're not used to eating 2,000 calories, you can't just suddenly jump to that because your body is not adapted to it. So you have to gradually condition your body to burn more and more fuel by gradually eating a little bit more over time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure to be hitting your protein and then staying within your calorie target and then increasing your total calorie intake by about 50 calories a week. If you notice you're getting quite hungrier, then I'd say it's safe to bump it up another 100. But if you wanna stay a little bit on the safer side, you can just gradually bump it up by 50 calories. And then what I would do is work your way all the way up to where you are eating 2,000 calories a day. And the reason why we do this is because your metabolism adapts to the amount of food that you eat consistently. So what we're doing by gradually increasing your calories is we're actually making your metabolism burn more fuel all the time. And we're also giving your body plenty of fuel to actually be able to build muscle with. And then the more muscle you have, not only the better you're gonna look, but the more calories you're burning once again 24/7. So this is really what's gonna get you lean and toned for life. Okay, the third step to getting fit for life is lifting weights. I think that this is pretty obvious, but it's really important to actually focus on training instead of just exercising. Don't get me wrong, any kind of exercise is great. It's obviously really important to be moving your body, but just kind of randomly doing workouts on YouTube or just randomly flailing about in the gym is not going to give you the same results as following a properly structured training program. So you should be lifting weights at least 3 days per week, but even more like 4 or 5. And the sessions don't need to be any longer than 45 to 60 minutes, where you're really only going to be doing 4 to 6 exercises in that workout. But the idea is that you get stronger at what you're doing consistently over time. This is called progressive overload, which literally means that you are progressing in the amount of overload you are putting on your muscles. So the resistance you are putting on your muscles, because yes, we do need to be eating adequate protein and adequate calories in general in order to build muscle, but muscle also requires a stimulus to grow. You can't only eat your way to more muscle, you also have to train to build muscle, of course. So the stimulus that tells your body that muscle needs to be created is when you're going in the gym or working out from home even, and you're picking up challenging weight, because that is putting the resistance on your muscles, and that's telling them, okay, we need to grow, we need to adapt, because you are demanding more of us, the body, than you were previously. And I'm telling you, if you do this, you are really going to see crazy changes very quickly in your body. Okay, so the fourth step is not only to focus on lifting weights, but also to focus on your major compound movements. So a compound movement is an exercise that utilizes multiple muscle groups in one single movement. The main examples of this for your lower body are the squat, deadlift, hip thrust, and lunges. And then for your upper body, it's bench pressing or chest press, overhead press, chin-ups, and rows. So some variation of these major compound exercises is what should be the very first few exercises you do in your workout, because they require the most amount of strength. You want to do them right at the beginning when you're still fresh and energized to give your full strength to it, and then progress in your workouts and get more muscle. And then it's okay to do a little bit of isolation work to really emphasize a specific body part that you want to focus on. But I'm telling you, the vast majority of your results, seriously, like 80% of your results are going to come from your compound movements alone. Take a squat, for example. A squat is obviously mainly focused on the legs and glutes, which are the biggest muscles in your entire body, by the way. So when you really overload them, you're going to be burning a lot of calories and building a lot of muscle and speeding up your metabolism. But when you're squatting, you're not only focusing on your legs and glutes, you're also using your abs like crazy. You're still using your arms, shoulders, and back in addition to your legs and glutes. So think about all of those muscles working for one single movement, how many calories you're burning, and how much strength you're using. And the last video I did actually walked you through how to do all of these exercises even as a complete beginner and you're not really sure where to start, and how to do them even from home with dumbbells. So make sure to check out that video here if you haven't watched it yet, so you can learn how to start doing these compound movements and structure your workouts correctly. Okay, and then the fifth step to getting fit for life is to have an active lifestyle outside of the gym. Meaning it's obviously great to go do a 45 to 60 minute workout a few days per week, but then if you find that you are sitting almost all of the time outside of that 1 hour, that's really not so good. So obviously the easiest way to help get more active without having to do anything that's stressful on your body is walking. Of course, you always hear to aim for around 10,000 steps a day, and that's personally what I do. I always tell my clients that the absolute lowest to aim for is 6,000, and that's really only if they've been used to getting like 2,000 steps a day. I'm gonna slowly work them up to getting closer to like 10,000 steps. But honestly, getting 10,000 steps a day is not as hard as you think. You just need to be intentional about it. So as long as you take little breaks throughout your day and just go for a 5 to 10 minute walk, you will pretty easily add up those steps and hit your 10K mark. And honestly, just walking around in your house while you're doing stuff on your phone anyways really adds up those steps. That's definitely something I do. Now, I know some of you might live in a very small apartment or you live somewhere cold right now, so you struggle to get the steps. And in that case, I'd say it's definitely worth considering getting a mini treadmill for your house. And I know that might seem bizarre to invest in something like that, but honestly, they aren't that expensive. You can get them on Amazon for like $200, $300. And I know that that does cost something, but if you really struggle to get movement in, this is definitely going to be worth it, because having an easy way to get more steps is going to make a huge difference in your ability to lose fat and just have more energy all around. All right, and then the sixth and final step to getting fit for life is to be consistent overall as a lifestyle. It goes without saying, in order to see huge progress with your physique, it is going to take time. It is not going to happen in 1 week. It's not even going to happen in 1 month. I'd say 1 month in, you can definitely be seeing pretty good results already, but that's literally just the beginning. You need to keep at it, and you need to think years, not just weeks and months. And so the best way to be consistent is to actually fall in love with how it feels. That is definitely what I focus on. Even though I have been lifting weights for like 7 years, and I think really focusing on my nutrition for like 4 or 5, I still get frustrated sometimes that I don't see better results faster. But at this point, I know that it is a long game. But the thing is, the reason I stay so consistent after all of these years is because I genuinely love how it feels. I love feeling strong. I love feeling nourished, healthy, and energized. Going to the gym is like therapy for me. It is so much fun, and that is the reason that I stay consistent with it, because I genuinely prefer how I feel when I'm eating right and working out right, instead of not doing those things. And then I end up actually kind of feeling like garbage and wanting to get back to that lifestyle. So fall in love with feeling good and know that the physical changes are just behind. All right, Fit Fam, those are the 6 tips for you. I'm actually about to go crush a full body workout, so I'm gonna take you to the gym with me. And if you know that your goals are super important to you, but you just feel kind of overwhelmed trying to figure out exactly how you should be eating, how to be working out, and how to not talk yourself out of doing it, how to actually stay consistent, then check out my one-to-one coaching program, because that is where I will guide you personally through all of those things, creating a completely customized strategy for your body, goals, and lifestyle with consistent adjustments based on how you're feeling physically and mentally, so that we are always making progress. And then I'm always checking in on you, always making sure you feel supported and that you feel excited about the progress you are making. And having that accountability, having that support and guidance really accelerates your results so fast, and my clients absolutely love it. All right, Fit Fam, so let's go to the gym and crush some full body.